Hey guys, so I talked about this solo lane Tyrael, and I wanted to run it in a game so you guys can see it. The major downside is that you you lose a lot of stuff by going Mecha Tyrael, by going solo lane Tyrael. You lose wave clear, but you do get a diver. I mean, one of the meta we have right now for a lot of solo laners is dive in the backline, fight like a 1v3 while your team wins, and then jump back in to safety. So as far as the first talent that you're going to take, you're not going to be near your team, so we're not going to be taking Justice for All. We're going to be alone, so our shield is likely to be destroyed while we go in, so the extra shield is going to be nice, and the extra heal is going to be nice. So against Burst, I'd imagine this is definitely what we want to go. Dealing damage to a hero heals you, and that's actually what we're going to do. Purely because we want the sustained fight in the backline, and we want to be able to be very scary with it. I'm just going to immediately start trying to clear this to see what I can do. We're just going to heal off this a little bit. This guy actually doesn't have sustain yet, so I can actually out heal this guy and keep my healing going while he can't heal himself. So we can actually just completely bully Varian for quite a while. So we're going to let our minions die, and we're going to keep fighting him. You actually can bully a decent amount of people in the early game because the amount of healing that you have is quite impressive. Like, you can see the amount of healing that we gain from this. We are now gaining 42 health per second at this level, and he just can't keep up with that. There's just no way. And he's not gaining much healing. He only gets his Q, and I'm getting just permanent healing. So we do definitely bully a little bit, and we can just keep doing damage if we want to. Give ourselves some shield. We don't get the globe, unfortunately. We can maybe get... No, we won't be able to get this one. We could just slap him one time really quick, and we'll just walk away. They bring more people up top. That's beneficial for us because that means that we're doing what we should be doing, right? Now, with two people here, that's where we're going to have a little bit of trouble. So we should be able to out-heal the damage that this guy brings, but out-healing both of them will be rather difficult. We'll definitely want to back a little bit before the objective spawns. We'll just heal off of this. We don't want to take too much damage from the actual minions, but we want to stack up our heal to be a lot higher. Now, they don't see Greymane going for this, so this is really good for us. We want to save enough mana so we can go back if we need to. And we want to keep this stacked, but it's not going to be stacked. So we're just going to pop this, and we're going to be gone. And Greymane's going to be able to grab that camp. We don't want to grab a fountain here because we want to save our fountain for the actual objective, so we're going to leave. We want to pick up Divine Vigor. Divine Vigor is key to the auto attack build because you're going to be doing a lot of auto attack damage. So Divine Vigor is definitely important. After Divine Vigor, we're going to be going with... there's a couple options this next tier. We can go with increased attack speed, or we can go with increased attack damage. 60% increased attack damage per enemy hero hit is way more valuable than just a flat 25% attack speed. So we're going to end up going with that. Like, my friend, I'd rather just get this. Like, it's not my fault he chose to fight there. So... I'm just going to grab the objective, and then I'm going to go join our team. Like, if they send a bunch of people top, then guess what? We get bottom objective for free. So, we're going to get that, and I'm going to head down to bottom lane and help out. We're going to go right into their backline right here. We're going to hit him and look at... oh, we don't have the extra damage yet. So, we're going to be able to do a decent amount here. We've got a lot of healing, so... It's okay if we just go right into their team, because we have a lot of healing and a lot of sustain. So our goal is just to annoy them as much as possible. And then we'll just back out, we'll give ourselves a shield, and we'll pick up a potion. And we're perfectly fine. We have our fountain available in case we want to go back into this fight after we've gotten one kill. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to head right back in, and our goal is to go right for their backline. We're now going to heal off the damage that we do to him, and we have so much mobility that we can just keep up with whoever we want to actually go for. Once again, we're going to go straight for their backline. Our goal is to just keep hitting their backline as much as possible, and just scaring them off. We can give shields to our team, or shields to the enemy, or not to the enemy, to ourselves. And we're in a really good spot. So I'm going to go back to my lane once again, and this time I won't be able to beat Varian in lane anymore. Varian's healing during fights is going to be rather high, so we're not even going to worry about it. We will be taking the bonus attack damage, and we don't even really want to worry about it too much because he does win now. He auto attacks and heals for much more damage than we are going to be able to heal through, so we won't be able to fight him. Our goal now is to just have a more valuable team fight and then do our best to make sure that he doesn't get too much value in other lanes. So I'm just going to focus on clearing up these rather quickly. And we'll be okay. Varian head mid, so I'm just going to see if I can't push this out. So we're going to aim our E so it hits everything, aim our Q, and do our best to try to clear up the back line first. And there we go. But again, our wave clear is not great. So with this, we will be able to push that lane in. They will miss some experience up at top lane, and we're going to do our best to join our team down here because there's a little bit of a fight. But I would rather actually just double soak here. So you're going to see that I'm actually just going to try to double soak, getting everything rather low, and then using my E to clear up as much as I can. I'm going to mount up as this guy's dying, grab the soak from that, and we're going to head up and see if we can't help. So Rainer's going to go there, and they're going to miss the soak down here. So I'm doing my best, but it's not perfect. Just keep that in mind, that this is not a perfect answer, but it's also not terrible. I can still keep up with a soak, but it's just not as good as if a double soak as something like a Tyrael is. So right here, we're simply just going to go for the channel. We don't want to do anything crazy. If the fight does start, our goal is to flank and immediately go for their backline. Because the longer we can distract someone like a Junkrat and a Rainer, the longer our team has to just win the fight. So we just take the easy trade, and we're keeping up on experience. We don't need to take a fight here, but if we do, we're going to go for it. I'm going to try to body block. And I'm going to do bonus damage to him, but we're not going to be actually able to kill him, so I'm going to head back out. I'm going to give them a retreat ping, and I'm going to see if I can't catch back up to this wave up here. We want to make sure that we do a lot of damage. We can heal off the damage we do after we use an E for auto attacks, and then boom, wipe that wave. We're actually getting rather low, and our team is covering mid lane, so there's no point in going back down to mid lane. I'm just going to back, and then I'll have full health, full mana, ready to go for the next wave, and I'll have that mana available. What we're going to be doing this time is we're going to be grabbing Judgment. Our goal is to be able to jump into the backline and immediately get a kill, or immediately burn something. So in this case, we are going to annoy this guy. He's trying to go for a camp up here, and we just want to annoy him. Like, we don't want him to think that he can get this. And so we're going to just keep hitting this guy. Like, we can get him rather low, and we're going to dodge the AoEs, and we're just going to wait for our team to show up. We want to use our Judgment after Lucio uses his ult so that we can kill someone. So now we're in a spot where once this ends, we can just immediately ult in. Give some shielding. We can use our Q to get away. And auto attack if needed, but ultimately our goal is just to walk away. We really just didn't do as much damage as they did, and our team kind of showed up a little late. We're going to have to give the camp, and they'll push a little bit, but there's nothing that we want to do there. I want to get pretty high health and mana before I go to this objective, and I wanted to have my fountain available. I'm probably just going to pre-tap a fountain down here, and then I'm going to join this fight. As long as we can interrupt once, I'll be there on time. I won't have Judgment for the first half of this fight, but I will still be able to do exactly what this build does. I don't think I need to peel first. I would rather jump in this area and get this kill, and then immediately go and start hitting their backline once again. So you have a ton of healing in these fights. We're going to hit this Rainer, and again, we're just going to start smacking them. We're going to give shields to our team, and we're going to get another kill. So during team fights, you do a lot of damage. We are going to take this. I'm going to move it in closer so that my E is going to hit all of it, use my Q, and we're going to just wipe through this camp really quickly, and then I'll head back up top to try to stop that, that Varian. But this will actually be able to get bottom lane, so I may actually just help my team get this because KT's covering top lane, use my Q and my E to try to clear up this lane, grab the fountain to get there. I'm going to actually just jump on this guy. Get some extra damage off on him, scaring him off. That's not bad. I can Judgment, get a kill. There's a kill, and we'll walk out. Judgment's really good for picking one backliner out and killing him, so if you ever catch a backliner at like 20% health, just kill him. Try not to use your Q to go in too often, because it's really great to get out. And at this stage, I like to get Law and Order. It's very powerful because they synergize really well. You get big crits and big shields. So we want to make sure that we can kill this Varian, or we want to immediately dive in on their backline. So what we might do here is we might just get some extra damage. We burned an ult, and we didn't even need to use an ult, which is great. I might go back to start double soaking, and my team can hold those other lanes. I'm not a big fan of this, but we can try it. Yep, not a big fan of it. I'd rather just push top out. We've got the objective, though. If I go top, it would be too late. So I'm going to do my best to try to help out down at bot lane. Maybe I can go and aggress on them a little bit. So I will be using my Q to go in here. And I will be getting my hit on both of them, increasing my damage by 120% by landing my E on 2 different people. I could actually ult and go for a kill there, but I'd rather not risk it. So in this case, we actually are just going to fight. I hit my E on, or I hit it on 2 people. I can just ult and kill this guy immediately. And I will use my W to survive all the damage that he's bringing out. And we already... What happened? We had KT on the objective. Why did he not do the objective? We would have had 5 damage twice. Whatever. I got a kill, which allows us to win the objective. And now I'm going to back off. I want to get 16s for our team. So that's what my plan is right now, is simply just get 16s for my team. I can even use this W to keep everything up. I don't recommend using your W if you're low on mana, because it's just not really worth it. I would rather you use just your E to try to clear everything. And remember the aiming of your E. You can usually hit an entire backline, and always focus the backline. After you use your E, you will gain some life, so I recommend that. I'm going to stay top for 1 more wave. I'm going to let it crash, and then use my E, my Q, auto, 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 and then my next E will kill that whole group. And same thing, we're going to actually just back. We're going to grab that soak, and we're going to head mid, and we're going to push out that. We're getting a good amount of experience in the opposing team's not getting. After this game, I'll talk a little bit about the build and why I chose these talents. Once again, we're just going to auto-attack. It's okay if he hooks me. I just use Q. I'm out. I may actually... We've got soak mid, so I'm not going to worry about it. The towers have upgraded, so now they give the keep amount of experience, which means instead of giving 500 experience, they give, I believe it's 800. I'm actually just going to back when these are closer. Oh, wait. Okay, now I'm backing. I'll have full mana, full health. I'm going to head over. It looks like they're all top, so I'm actually just going to join my team top. At this level, there are a lot of options that you can go with. I like the cooldown reduction on E because we're going to be just diving into their backline for a long time, but the AoE is nice because then you have wave clear, but we're going to go with the E cooldown. So right here, we're just going to focus on this. We have bottom lane. We have this one. If they go for it, we can just kill them. And if we want to go for this, I mean, I pretty much just ult whenever. Come on, end. Aw, that's annoying. Whatever. I might just judgment. Ooh, this is actually rough. I'm gonna judgment this guy. There we go. Easy kill. And we're just gonna keep auto-attacking. We get that crit damage. We've got a low cooldown on it. It increases the shields that we give, too, because of Law and Order. So we have a ton of utility. And now we're going to head over. I'm going to... Yeah, we can kill him. And again, I get a bigger shield. We're just going to kill him with my Q. We're going to grab a fountain, and I'm going to let my Murden go for that while I go for the wave. KT can solo that camp, so I'm not too worried about helping him out with that. I'd rather get experience so we can get level 20s, because this build has a really powerful level 20 spike. So we want to do our best to try to get level 20s if we see that the game's going to lead that way. So again, you can see I do just about the same things every time. I use my E first, and then my Q, and then my E again. Getting top lane is not really worth it, but there's nothing else to get on the map right now, so I'd rather just go for it and see if I can't apply some pressure in another lane. Once again, we're going to use this, we're going to use this, and we're going to use this. Grab the fountain, or grab the globe. I'd rather join the team here, but I mean, we're so close to 20s. So I'm going to join my team. You do have a pseudo-global. It's not a perfect global, but it is a pretty long-range ability for Judgment. So if I start walking down here, it's not bad to see if I can't peel for my team. Killing him, giving a big shield to my team, I'm going to immediately jump over onto Raynor, and I'll out-heal the damage that he does with my auto attacks. And I can give big shields to my team, getting a bunch of damage off with my auto attacks. And once again, we can head back in, hitting whoever we want to. Our goal is to immediately go for this guy, though, in the back line. Giving ourselves, again, big shields. And we're just going to back off. We're going to actually auto-attack once and then back off. And we're gone. So this is the power of this. It's a very, very high utility build. High mobility, high damage on the back line. It's rather scary, and it's got a decent amount of wave clear. I actually didn't think it had that much wave clear, but it holds its own. The enemies did win that fight. We just shouldn't have been there. We were closing in on 20s, and I was doing my best to get 20s for the team. If I was there the entire fight, we would have won, but I wasn't. And I think that they're over-assuming that it's like the KT that's winning them the fight, because I know they were like very excited to get KT this game. But yeah, we're just gonna go for this guy. Give a big shield to Greymane, and I'm not gonna Judgment because I don't think that we can kill him. I save my Judgment for who I think we can kill until 20, when it has a very low cooldown and it's got an increased range. Then at 20, feel free to just Judgment every time. We're gonna use this. Get a globe for our team. Get a second globe for our team. So if we do fight, we want to make sure that we're going in at a good time. And we want to go in where we have enough room to where I can charge in their backline without getting hit by a tower. That's my biggest issue. Let's head down here. Next objective's bot anyways. There we go. I just need to heal through it. I don't need to Judgment here, but I can if I really want to, because it's going to be a low cooldown. So Judgment is normally a 70-second cooldown, but if you take this talent, it reduces its cooldown by 40 seconds, so it's a 30-second cooldown. You can use it twice per every fight. That's how great it is. We could probably rip this rather quickly. We want someone to tank other than KT, though. So I'll tank. Then it switched over to the minions. And that's going to do 5 damage with this next objective, because I have to deal with both mid and there. I'm just going to ult. This will save my team, and we'll likely get a kill onto... Oh no, there's no way we kill this guy. There's no world we kill that guy. But it's a 30-second cooldown, so I'm not too worried. Nobody's channeling. I'll let them channel because I want to use the second ult. So we're going to wait, though. We want to see what they do. We want to dive in their backline when they're distracted with something else, you know? But that's going to be our 5 damage. So I'm just going to go in. So you can see, look at how much damage I do to this Raynor. I jumped in, did 40% of his health in a second, and then I went from there. So I do want to show this build really quick, explain a little bit about it, and when you should go this build, when you shouldn't go this build. I do think it's better than people make it out to be. It's a super mobile build that does a lot of damage. I didn't hit the chart because it doesn't... I'm not sitting around doing damage to the enemies the whole time. I was focusing on soaking for my team, which Greymane actually covered more than I did. But I mean, we both got similar amounts of kills. He got a lot more damage that game. But again, we were able to bully the enemy Varian, getting more soak than he could get in the early game. And then in team fights, their team spent the majority of the time attacking me, which I did 47,000 self-healing. And I also did 4,500 shields to my team. So let's talk about the build a little bit and why I go these talents. Ardent Restoration. It's not great in team fights, which is why I recommend, like, if you're constantly doing team fights, I recommend the W talent on this tier. Either one of the W talents in that tier. But if you're fighting on your own a lot, you could see the value of it. You could outtrade most people as far as healing goes, up until Varian got the second win. Once he got second win, there's no way I won that matchup. But once Varian gets second win, he wins most melee matchups. So I didn't really expect to beat him there, but I did dominate him before that, and I did get experience leads before that. Divine Vigor. If Smite hits an enemy hero, if Smite hits any enemy, your basic attacks for the next 4 seconds heal for 75% of the damage dealt. So even if I'm getting some wave clear, it's a nice talent to get a decent amount of healing in between waves. Purge Evil. If you hit one person with this is 60% increased damage. Tyrael's auto attacks don't do that much damage on their own, so taking this talent, you kind of need to hit 1 to 2 people to go for it. What? Okay. Whatever. I was a fair game. I mean, he played well later, but he also just kind of suicided later, but whatever. So if you can hit 2 people with this, you can literally drop backliners in 5-6 seconds, and you're so mobile because you're always going to be getting movement speed after you use your E. So it's a very, very powerful talent. Then we go into Judgment. Judgment is a talent that I feel is really good, but it's a talent that a lot of people don't like running because Sanctification is even better. But the problem is that the current meta for solo lanes means that you're likely going to be diving into their backline, doing some damage, and then backing off. Solo laners, we're seeing Tyrael and Sonya. Just again, that's the strategy now. You dive in the backline, you get a lot of work done, and then you leave. And that's just kind of what's happening. So if you're diving into their backline, Sanctification is useless. So instead, I'm going with Judgment. I'm going to dive in, I'm going to stun people, and I'm going to get a lot of value off. So every single team fight, I was jumping in on Raynor, Junkrat, or Lucio, and I was getting a ton of value. I mean, early game, I was able to get a couple quick picks from people that tried to walk away at 40% health. Late game, we were, constantly jumping in their backline, and there was nothing that the enemies could do about it. Law and Order. I think this talent is busted, but the problem about this talent is it competes with an even better talent, which is Holy Ground. You can steal any camp or any boss if you get Holy Ground. And as a tank, you kind of have to take Holy Ground. But as a solo laner, you're safe to take a non-Holy Ground talent because you might not always be with your team. Now, Holy Ground's still good if you are going to be doing like a lot of bosses, but Law and Order, each enemy hero hits by Smite reduces a cooldown of Righteousness. And each allied hero shielded by Righteousness increases the damage of your next smite. So when you start hitting team fights, you're going to smite a bunch of people, you're going to back off and get a huge shield for your entire team, and then you're going to have a low cooldown for your next smite. So, vice versa. You're going to do a lot of damage with your smite and have a low cooldown for your shield, constantly shielding yourself and constantly shielding your team while also doing more damage with your smite. So you can go into a fight, shield your team, and then jump in and immediately do a big burst to the enemy. Then we also have Smite the Wicked. While your Q is active and for 2 seconds after teleporting, Smite's cooldown recharges 125% faster. This talent's good because you can just stick on enemies forever and keep high healing, but I will say that the AoE fire damage on level 16 is also very, very powerful, and it's actually more burst damage. So if you find yourself needing to kill targets faster, go with that talent instead. If you expect longer fights where you're constantly moving around the fight, then Smite the Wicked is really valuable. And then level 20, Angel of Justice is so strong. You can use ult twice per team fight. You can use ults in between team fights and not be worried about having it on cooldown. And the cast range feels a little bit more like Hunt. Let's talk about some other talents that you could pick up to make this a little bit different if you want to. And those talents are, again, I mentioned it, bigger shield, better against burst. Level 20, I have had some arguments of people using this. Every time you use a basic ability, you get attack speed. I have seen arguments for this as well. I just really like this. Is this build meta? No, this is not a meta build. And I should have mentioned that at the beginning of this game. I don't really think that this is going to be meta. This isn't going to be defining any metas. But the one benefit about this is a point-and-click long range 1.5 second stun. I had a lot of people run Tyrael with Judgment whenever enemies would run Ana, because you could Judgment in and you could have like Tyrael main tank with like a Ragnaros, and you could just follow up every 70 seconds. You Judgment the Ana, and the Judgment's followed up by a Ragnaros' hammer dropping down, and you completely wipe out the healer every single team fight, and then you get to fight the enemy team without a healer every single team fight. So Judgment's more valuable than people make it out to be, and it's just everyone wants to run Sanctification. So I think there's times where you could certainly run this in competitive as long as you have synergies with Judgment, but otherwise I think this is more about gaining value in chaotic environments and playing it kind of like Yrel. It's just that if you like Tyrael, you can run this instead of Yrel. But I think Yrel does everything that this build does, but better. But it's still fun because it gives you something to do with Tyrael in the solo lane. So I'd recommend trying it out if you like Tyrael, but if you don't like Tyrael, don't worry about it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and feel free to check out my other videos.